some other projects going on. So who knows? So
That's exciting.
yeah.
Congratulations.
That's uber exciting. So we'll wait just a minute here before we get started.
Ben, what about you? Do you have any good news? I know that you had some interviews a couple weeks ago.
I did. The two strongest leads had to actually slow down on their hiring. They both said they really liked me and would want me on their team, but they can't bring anyone on at this time, and they don't have a timeline for when that's going to be. So that's a little disheartening. But I did have an interview today that was for much less money than my absolute bottom. But and it's a really small company, like 2 people.
Wow.
But I'd really be able to help build the company, and he offered me an ownership stake if I joined him. So it's, I don't know, stuff to think about.
Yeah.
It's what?
Definitely stuff to think about.
Yeah.
Tough one.
Definitely.
Would you have to put in your own money to get that ownership stake?
I don't think so. It was just kind of like he'd need to talk to the other people who are involved, which is, I think, his dad and his brother. So it's
Okay.
really small. So it's, I don't know. It sounds like something I'd want to do, but for such a small company and for so little money, I just got an email right as we were signing on to this from a recruiter that there's a company coming that wants to interview me next week. So I'm going to go on that interview and see what happens. But yeah.
Well,
That's
good
that
luck.
you're getting interviews at least.
Good luck.
That's right. All right, guys. So we've got some new people. Hello, Tiffany. Been a long time. Actually, it's been about 5 minutes since we last talked by Zoom. Nice to see you. Jessica Shuttleworth is a friend of mine and a great executive recruiter. She just wanted to listen in and kind of see what all the hubbub's all about. So I invited her. Hello, Jessica. Nice to have you. Who else? Anybody else new on the call? Well, if you are new to the call, and I do want to get started here in a minute. There's the superstar. There's the DT. Miss, did you see how many likes she got on her post? Like, she's up to like 400. It is so unbelievable how connected she is. If you guys want to learn how to connect, you need to connect with DD Kulkarni right there. Good job,
Thank you,
girl.
Michael.
Good job, girl. Jose, good to see you
I'm
again.
so overwhelmed. Like, I still didn't see the latest update, but then I got over 12 to 14,000 views on my post. So that was like too much for me.
That's awesome. No, that's good. That means you're doing it right. You got the formula down. You don't need any other help. So that's good. So, well, very good. Well, we got about 19 people on. If you are new to the group, what I do want you to do is go into the chat. I want you to put your LinkedIn profile in the chat for everyone to see, and so that we can all connect with one another. Because one of the things I think we've been able to effectively do is really create some good connections here. Aditi and Alma are a great example of that, where Aditi called out Alma as her mentor. So, and I don't know if they knew each other before, but I don't think they did. So, I mean, that's what this group's been able to do. So we're uber excited to have you. Of course, it wouldn't be the Job Seeker Hotline show without me kicking up the introduction. Hold on, let me, whoops, I want to be able to share my screen. Hold on. I always get this backwards. That there, let me connect the sound so that where's my meeting controls? Oh, there it is. I don't know why it's there. Okay, get ready. Sorry, we're not technically wonderful here, but so for those of you who are new, we get crazy. Here we go.
Watch this.
Yeah.
It's Thursday. It's time for the Job Seeker Hotline Show at 4 o'clock Central Time, and I want you to join us. What's everybody posting about on LinkedIn? It's mostly business stuff. You're going to be different and will stand out.
If people think they have a concept of LinkedIn, mind blown.
Could you all hear that? Did you all hear the sound? You did?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear the sound in my ears. That's weird how sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't.
It was so loud I had to turn my computer down.
Me too.
Good. I like it. I like it. I like it.
And then I
like it, I
couldn't
like
even
it.
get it down low enough.
Well, there you go. Well, let me do my presentation here. Let me get this sparked up. Let me know when you can see it. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
All right. So I appreciate you guys joining. So today I'm going to teach you out there in ULand, how to search like a recruiter, because a lot of people have, think, well, how do the recruiters find me in a job search? Well, I'm going to give you some of those trade secrets, give away some of those trade secrets here, and we'll, and hopefully you'll learn. So along the way, feel free just to chime in as you ask questions, but we will be going, moving fairly quickly because this is a long presentation. It will involve you being able to use your computers if you have your computers out, because I want you, so practice makes perfect when it comes to sourcing. The first, so what is it that we're gonna, hold on, of course, let me get this going. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to learn why it's important to think like a recruiter. We're then going to understand the basics of Boolean. For some of you, you may already know this and go, waste of time. I do want to know some feedback on this because I am going to be using this for future webinars. So I definitely welcome the feedback. How to find recruiters and hiring managers using Google, and then finding emails and phone numbers. Right? So that's where the magic happens. After you found the person, you want to get in touch with that person. And sometimes LinkedIn isn't always your best alternative based upon their activity out there. So let's kind of dive right in. So how does all this, how does this really, help me? So when we look at this, it really allows you to target the people you really want to talk to in your target organizations, right? It's your target companies, right? Because we've talked about that. You want to create these targets of people, of companies within a specific industry. If you want to be industry agnostic, who do you want to work for based on the values, your personal values of who you want to work for, and then go target. You're going to use Boolean on Google, which will produce more results than sticking to just one source, which is generally LinkedIn. That's how usually most of the average recruiters do it. No offense to them, but Google just puts out a lot more results. And then finally, it's going to centralize your search, which is going to save you time while conducting the research, because everything's going to be hopefully within that one piece of information that you're seeking. And the one thing that I'll say is that as you are going through these searches, you definitely want to be logging these people's names down. I'll send you a copy of a networking log that I use with my clients, and I'm happy to share that with you all. And it's good to have it down. A lot of people tend not to do that. They just say, all right, I'll reach out to this person. And then they forget to follow up with them because they haven't written it down somewhere that they can go, well, who is that I talked to on such a date and such a time? So super important to stay organized throughout this. So let's really start with targeting. Right? We've talked about this. Remember, you're not targeting jobs. You've seen these slides before. You're not targeting jobs. You're targeting people in organizations. So by people, I'm talking about recruiters, hiring managers, executives, connections in the company that you might not know, or people who know people inside those organizations. And when you're targeting companies, it's company size, company industry, company type, the company culture, the company values, and aligning it to your own personal values. So let's talk about the core concept of Google search. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to imagine what you're going to find, right? So generally, if let's say you have a job posting in front of you, think about what that job posting is asking. Look for different department names, if they mention department names, because those are going to be key in finding those hiring managers. If they mention a specific type of position, Google through LinkedIn, which I'm going to show you, people that have the same titles, and maybe those are people you build connections with and build relationships with going forward, so that you can at least get your name to the top. You're basically translating computer speak into Google's language, so English into Google's language, and then you modify your search based on the results. So if you don't like the results you're seeing, it's a tweaking of a keyword, it's a tweaking of one of the characters that I'm going to show you that is really going to help you figure out, until you get the right amount of hits, they're going to work for you. So when you're doing Google search, Google, as we all know, is the top search engine. Can you search on LinkedIn? Yes, you can use Boolean search on LinkedIn. So you could take the same thing, except you would take out some of the operators that I'll show you later. You could take those out and just have the keywords in there to get to that. But what happens is the way LinkedIn works, the algorithm is not going to show you everybody that has all that experience. But by using Google, Google has the ability to dive a lot deeper than LinkedIn does, even within its own database. I know that sounds crazy. It is a proven technique that that when you use Google, you're going to yield more results that are closer. But also, you may find things that you didn't think of, or find people you didn't think of that end up showing up as a part of that Google search, such as an executive's name or a database list of contacts at the company, or even a company list. So it does have advanced capabilities, but let's take a look here. So let's talk about the Boolean modifiers. And again, just a quick show, a quick I do's, take yourself off mute. Does everybody know the Google Boolean logic, the and, the or, the not? Nod your head. Is that, you know, I see some heads shaking no. So some say no, some say yes. So, but let's go through it quickly. And if you've heard this before, I'm sorry. We got to take care of everybody on the hotline show. So hot tip here, again, this will be for if you're a first timer here, we'll put this on the Google Drive and you'll have access to this presentation with the commentary. So, and when you're using your Boolean operators in your search, you want to capitalize the word and, you want to capitalize the word or, you want to capitalize the word not, right? So, and is implied. So you do not have to include it. You can include it, but you can do it with the, if you hit Shift and then the button above the Enter key has a straight up and down. I don't know what they call that in technical terms. Rafik, if you know, help me.
It's called a pipe.
It's called a what?
Pipe.
It's not an I. It's not an I. It's called a what?
Pipe. P-I-P-E.
Well, there you go. Pipe. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. So it's called the pipe, and then you've got a backward slash. So the or. So you don't have to do it. So if you look at the example below, you see management consultant in parentheses, the company name IBM, or the 3 or 4 companies, PwC, Deloitte, Accenture, minus manager, because I want a consultant. I don't want a manager. I want a consultant. So the minus is the not in this sentence. The pipes are the ands in the sentence.
Why wouldn't you just word manager off then?
Because you'll end up with, again, you're going to end up with results of manager. If you don't take it out, you'll see a lot of false positives. And so basically I'm trying to eliminate as many false positives as I can.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep.
So we'll keep going here. So Then you have the Google Boolean search syntax. So you have, so you have the Boolean logic, which is and, or, not, the quotation marks. But then you've got cite colon, which digs into the actual website. And you'll see that a lot, especially when you're using LinkedIn. You can do cite colon www.linkedin.com. In title is going to mean you're searching for people that have profiles, and you can use the cite operator as a part of this, but that have a particular title, either on their website, on their LinkedIn profile, or wherever their name appears. Right, so you would use in title. We're really going to focus on cite today. The others gets a little complicated. File type, if you wanted to look up PDF documents or Word documents of company lists and things like that, that's where you're going to use the file type operator. The special characters are the quotation marks, which you saw here. A quotation mark says, I want this phrase to be exactly this. If I were to put management, open quote, end quote after management, it would just look at the word management. But usually you want to have, if it's more than one word in a job title, whether it's your job title or you're looking for a specific position online, you want to make sure you have it in quotes, but you can do it as a phrase or a single word. You can also do the asterisk, which is kind of which is also called the wild card. So for words like recruit, recruiter, recruiting, those kinds of project manager, project program, or project director, project champion, those kind of things, you can put the asterisk on there, and it'll find everything that encapsulates under the first few letters followed by the asterisk. So of course, look, you're going to have to play with this as we practice, and you'll see sometimes you may not get the results. You'll get the goose egg that says, sorry, there are no results. So you want to make sure everything's done correctly. And we're going to talk about that here in a moment. So when you look at cite, what we're doing is we're X-raying that site. So the site spoke.com, I'm telling it to go look at spoke.com. I'm telling it to look for SAP and FICO in the site. And so if you want to search within a site, it could be site:/gov, site:/microsoft.com/Singapore. Notice where it has site and colon in the on the screen here. Notice that there's no space between site through .com, but there is a space between other keywords. Google assumes that those spaces mean the word and. So again, you don't have to do the pipe, but if you just space it out like that, that means and. In title, it's about us for internal use only. These are some keywords that you can look there. So if you wanted to learn about us, about me, because there's the about, I think it's about.me is the site. But what I'm looking for here in the titles, I'm looking for a web designer that has maybe some type of contact information, like ends with gmail.com, yahoo.com, AOL.com. Does this make sense so far? Any questions? Okay. In URL, like we said, I'm looking for in URL, it's going to be resume, careers. It could be a profile. And again, these are a lot of examples that recruiters use when they're sourcing. So that's where these examples are, but I have some real live examples to show you me creating URLs to help you find people. So here I'm looking for an attorney that specializes in public policy or affairs. And I want it, and you can see in both here, I've told it to go find plaxo.com, which is similar to a LinkedIn, right? So there's Spoke, there's Zoom Info, there's Plaxo. I mean, there's a ton of them. There's Lucia. Some you have to pay for, some you don't. And I've included those at the end. So again, here's some of the characters that we've already talked about that kind of covers it here for you. So I'm not going to spend much time here. Any questions about these special characters or the operators before I move on? Perfect. So let's start simple and let's find jobs, all right? So let's say I'm an IT manager and I want to look in Atlanta, Georgia. So what I want you to do is I want you to type in on your Google, open up Google if you can, and I want you to type it just like you see it. And then give me an idea when you're done and I will pull up what you're going to see. Everybody get it?
Yep.
All right, thank you. So basically, when you have it, what did you, this is what I pulled up. So this is the Google for Jobs, right? So this
Yes.
is what, these are some things that came up,
What
right?
is that?
That's the first thing you're gonna see. So, so an information technology manager for the Georgia Department of Public Health, an IT manager for Referral LLC. I don't know if Referral is an agency, a recruiting agency or not, a full-time assistant manager with Amazon, right? And so you can even further search by hitting work from home, hitting management. So that's the beauty of this tool. So, but let's say I want to find a software developer Python job in Atlanta, Georgia. All right. So when I do that, and for the interest of time, I'll do this. I got 145,000 results. Now, here's the thing about Google. You know how it spells Google down at the bottom of the page when you do your searches? You only, the first 10 pages are going to give you the information. You really shouldn't go beyond the 10 pages, because then you're just going down a rabbit hole you can't come out of. And usually I stick to about the first 5 pages. And if I can get the information I need about candidates in terms of resumes or possible contact information, then I'm able to feel satisfied with that. I don't know, Jessica, if that's the way you do it. Different recruiters have different work styles. So as you see here, I was able to locate a bunch of Python developer jobs. It is on Indeed, but when I hit Indeed, I found the first position that came up was for this Izenda Inc. What's nice is this has the salary requirements in it. It's in Buckhead. But remember I was telling you about look at the job posting to kind of find different information. So as you can see, they have some good to have. That means if you've got MySQL or MongoDB and you've worked with deployment tools like Travis or Circle or Heroku, those are things that you want to put into the search feature of your profile so it can pull up more jobs like that instead of looking at one position and then looking at the requirements, seeing if you're qualified, and then applying. My way to stay organized is to highlight that particular job by bookmarking that page, create a set of bookmarks to have, jobs applied to or jobs going to apply to, and go through them after you've found all the jobs that you want for that. But I mean, you can see Insight Global, which is the company I used to work for, looking for a software developer based in Atlanta, Georgia. LinkedIn has software engineer jobs, 63 of them in Atlanta. So now it's your turn, okay? Given what you know, and I'll put the operators back on. Well, first I want you to do this. I want you to, so I want you to find an accounting specialist with Parkland Health in Dallas, and the person is a special agent in accounting and finance with the FBI. Here's what I want you, so that's the first thing I want you to do is find the position using Boolean, accounting specialist with Parkland Health in Dallas, and the title is special agent.
We're going to use Google.
You're going to use Google. You're going to use Google. This one wasn't supposed to be on here. So can someone, I'll stop sharing my screen. Can someone show me the job that they found? Share, one person share their screen with me, us. Aditi, did I make sense on what Boolean search was? Did that answer your question? Okay. Does anybody want to share their screen with me? And show me the job at Parkland Hospital or Parkland Health in Dallas, the special agent. There's no wrong answers. Just go. Share your screen and go super quick.
Me?
Anybody, somebody.
Well, I want someone else to go.
Well, so do I.
Aditi's showing us.
Aditi, show me close. Put it closer to your screen. Aditi, put that closer to your screen.
I can't see it.
I recognize the label. You found it. Good job. Yay, Aditi. Come on, guys. I need everyone participating. So I'm going to start sharing my screen again. Oh, Carl has started. All right, Carl, show us what you got. No?
Can you see this?
The first one was Parkland Health Dallas. Can you click on it?
First one?
Yep. Wow, what is this?
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, let's see if it pulls it up. Yep, that's it. Perfect. Okay, so the next position I want you to find, and you can stop sharing your screen, Carl, is I want you to find the special agent in accounting and finance with the FBI. Someone pull up their screen and show me how you're doing it. Please.
Michael, I hope it's the same one with the accounting specialist title. It's the same one, right?
No, it's different. Sorry,
Oh,
it was
okay.
different. It was different.
Okay.
So if someone can does someone have a screen they can pull up for me? Carl, do you mind? Or if not?
I'm having a little issue here. Hold on.
Okay. Alma, or are you on your phone? You're on your phone. Anybody? Hillary? Laura? Brandy?
Trying to, it's hard.
So think about, let's see what you look, there's no wrong answers. So I'm going to help you here. So when it comes up, when you get to the Google,
It looks like Hillary's trying to share.
What
so
was
I can't.
the title again? Special agent what?
a special agent in accounting and finance with the FBI.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So see what she did? You did great, Hillary. Perfect. Special agent, accounting and finance, FBI. So that job is on LinkedIn, but it's also on USA Jobs because it is a government job and they post everything in there. It's also on glassdoor.com. So you can see that it's going to pop up in different areas, which means the FBI is all over the place and posting their jobs and hoping they're going to find the right contact. So good job. All right, the next one. Well, we'll move on, but I want you to practice the last one by yourself. So, but I want to stay on track here and not lose scope or lose time here. But good job, Hillary. Carl, thank you, great job. And Aditi, thank you, great job. So let's search for recruiters. All right, but first you got to learn the lingo. You got to understand our language because it's not hard, but there's so many different terminology thrown out these days. But I wanted you to know that the words recruiting and talent acquisition are used interchangeably. So if you're a recruiter, you should be looking for a recruiter or a recruiting specialist or a talent acquisition specialist. And as you see, what I've done below is I've outlined talent acquisition specialist, talent acquisition manager, talent acquisition director, or it could be director of talent acquisition. Most likely when the word director and VP are in front of the talent acquisition, that means that's a leadership role. For recruiter, it could be recruiter, senior recruiter spelled abbreviated, senior recruiter spelled out, recruiting lead, recruiting leader, a talent specialist, a talent leader, a director of talent. So I just wanted to give you some basic, are there any other things that I'm missing, Anna, that you think, or Jessica, that you think I'm missing here that should be added?
I don't think so.
I mean, those are the common ones you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect.
What about, would any of them be like HR specialists or something like that?
So
Or
that's
no?
that's a great question. So yes, there are, in small organizations, there are people, what they call them HR generalists or HR specialists. So we could add, I thought about adding that, but I didn't want to confuse you.
The only reason I say it is because I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a good one. Thank you. So I'll add that here.
Our HRs are like one position above the recruiters.
Like a business partner could be above the recruiters, but technically they're paid a little bit more, but they actually work very, very much together. So, but no, the recruiters are generally going to report into the recruiting leader. If there's a recruiter reporting into a small department, they could report into the director of HR, VP of HR, whatever that title is, heading out HR.
Or like you
And-
said, director of talent.
Yeah, and if you're looking at for HR, you know, you want to do HR abbreviated, HR specialist, HR manager, HR leader, CHRO, director of HR, SVP of HR, SVP of human resources. So those are the kind of things that, you know, for the people that are on this call, but I just wanted to focus on the recruiting lingo, but excellent points. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at the site. Well, no, you don't have to do anything. Here, this is the Boolean search that I've created to get the results on the left. What I've done is I've told it to source linkedin.com. I always like to add the /in because that is directly related to how LinkedIn reads profiles. So I always do throw the /in, and then there's another / and then there's generally the person's name. I'm entering recruiter. See how I've capitalized or recruit or recruits, and I've put those in parentheses. I've told it to look for recruiters at Accenture, and I've added the word current, which means they're currently working there, because the problem you're going to run into after coronavirus is you're going to run into a lot of recruiters that are no longer at their companies. Generally what happens is we tend to let it be and let it sit there to make it look like we're still working there, but you shouldn't do that. You need to update your LinkedIn profile to when you actually ended your job so that people can see it. But I throw the word current in there because it will tell me, it'll find the word current and say, I currently work for. Now you could run into some false positives. I tried the word present because I believe it does say, 2018 to present on the LinkedIn profile. I'd have to go back and look, but it didn't yield as many results. So, and I'm looking for a recruiter in New York or Boston or Philadelphia. And I use the word, I take out the word jobs and I take out the word news because I don't want to see results where it's people, but then it's also news stories about recruiting or recruiters, and I don't want to look up recruiter jobs. Now, if I'm looking for a recruiter job, then you would have that in there. but I'm telling us only look at LinkedIn profiles. And so it did a really good job here. So it found about 22,200 results. And you can see the Doreen Cunningham, you can see Teresa Nolan, Katie Rose. And so when you click in there, you will see, you know, whether or not they're still working there. They should still be working there according to these results. So, you know, what we're going to practice here in a second, but this is how you go out and you find recruiters on Google search. You could go on to LinkedIn and do searches, but you have a limited number of connections, right? So the interesting thing is this will give you locations as to where they work. So if you wanted to send them an article, I mean, they probably aren't there right now. In fact, most of the big four, big five are working from home through the end of the year. So, but Accenture, so does everybody, any questions here as to what you see and how to find somebody? Okay. So it's your turn. So this is just one search, okay? I want you to find a recruiter on LinkedIn who works for Toyota in Dallas, Texas. And here's the bonus. The person is also a Scrum Master as well as a recruiter, which Rafiq can attest is a pretty interesting combination of work to have. And then I want you to type the name of that recruiter when you have found it in the chat box. Boom, Tiffany, kicking ass, love it. Jake Morrow is the correct answer. Tell her what she was won, Anna. I can't talk. Nobody can hear me because I'm on mute. What does she want, Anna?
No, I got him too. So,
yes,
right.
Good. Did everybody get Jake Morrow? Yes, no, nod your head. Yes, hello, trying, no trying. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to keep going here.
I don't think Brandy got it. You were shaking your head no.
Do I need to go back up?
Brandy, do you want him to go back up? Maybe unmute her.
Oh, she need,
There you go.
I think I'm just having an issue with like the order of how you typed it in. I guess I didn't get the first one when you had like your results pulled up, and now I'm having a hard time finding who you just mentioned.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I did this on purpose. I put, he's a recruiter on LinkedIn. So the first thing that Boolean, what you think there is, okay, I need to go site:/www.linkedin.com/in.
Like maybe can you walk us through, Michael, like what you would do on your screen rather than us trying to do it ourselves?
Absolutely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, can everybody see my screen? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go site:/www.linkedin.com. And I'm going to type recruiter. And then I'm going to type in Scrum Master. Now, you might not know that that Frisco and Plano are suburbs of Dallas, and that's where Toyota's corporate headquarters are. But if I include Dallas or Frisco or Plano, I could also do in parentheses, I could do or colon, not to make it too confusing, 214,972. So those are the, whoops. Those are the things. And then I'm doing minus job, minus news. So,
Are those the area codes?
yeah, those are area codes.
Oh.
And see, he doesn't pop up. He doesn't, I don't know why he. So I'm going to take this out. So when something doesn't work, it's a matter of playing with it. Because it could have been that my number, I should have created a space between the pipe and the 469, and I just in a rush to do things didn't. Where is it?
Did you need to mention Toyota?
Yes, I did, and thank you. There you go. That was my, see, that was my missing component, right? So look at Jose showing off his skills in the chat. Good job, Jose. So yes, so I forgot to include Toyota, so thank you. And you can have Toyota in quotes, you can have Toyota in parentheses, either or. Parentheses works very similarly to quotes. So good job. All right. So now we're going to search for a hiring manager, and you don't know that hiring manager's name, right? So now we're going to use this, right? www.linkedin, blah, 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 to get these results. I'm trying to find a VP or a vice president or an SVP or a senior vice president of technology or business technology. You could even add or information technology, but my focus is on healthcare. And I want to go to, I want to look in Dallas or Frisco or Plano, again, minus jobs, minus news. So what I'm going to do is go back to this, and I bet it, hold on, I bet it pops up.
Yeah, Michael, are you just going to do that one?
Yeah, I was going to do that one. So linkedin.com, just do something real quick. Sorry, brain's not on memorize. Might be. Site.com/in, right? You're going to look up VP or vice president, right? Or SVP or senior. Oops. You want to keep everything lowercase, by the way. The only things that should be capitalized are your Boolean connectors. Otherwise, it'll have Google will have a hard time reading it. Shorten it here, technology, healthcare, and then Dallas or Frisco or Plano. We're not going to get the same exact hits. And what's interesting is we were able to, we found the head of healthcare, but it doesn't say it's head of healthcare North America at Atos, which is an IT firm, right? So if you wanted to work for a consultancy, Atos is a consultancy. But here's where you start to get it. And again, it's a matter of tweaking this, tweaking your words to get exact matches, but you can see chief data and technology, vice president of information technology, chief information security officer. So Elma, you could reach out to him. So SVP CIO, VP of innovation at Tenet Health. So this is how we go out and find the people, because see how it just makes more sense. And I ended up with, 533,000 results. And again, we're not going to look at all 533 results. So any questions about this? Okay. So I'm going to skip the, I'll give you some homework. All right, here you go. And you'll see this. All right. Let me share my screen. Let me put this back into presentation mode. Y'all can see that, yes? Perfect. So here's what I want you to find. It's not find the following recruiter, find the following executive using Boolean. A former SVP of e-commerce, governance, execution, and enterprise architecture who works for Cardinal Health. So that's your homework. And I want you to email me, or if we have time, you can tell me the answer at the end of the call. But that's what I want you to go find for me. And look, Google takes practice. So you can't just say, okay, I learned it from Michael. All right, next time I do it, I'll just do it. This needs to be practiced every day to get good at Boolean, to keep increasing your searches and keep increasing your the number of contacts you're able to pull up.
Michael, is there going to be a Q&A on what you
Yes.
just talked about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So we're almost home. So, and if we need to stay over a little bit, we can. For those who need to leave, understand, but it will be recorded and you can catch the Q&A on the back end. I call it finding Nemo on the internet. These are some great ways to look up company and contact information at a particular company by using the shift to, and then you would put whatever your target company is right here. In this case, we've used intel.com, and voila, there's technical support. There's somebody we can find out. Here's their number. Here's their email. Here's another name. There's another name that you can reach out to. Now, Yuka is obviously not in the US, but Karen is. Karen is, right? So what do you get from this? Well, you get the email string for Intel, and now you got a phone number. So the next step is to pick up the phone and call them, but that's not for this presentation. So different Boolean strings that you can also use to find out email and information. I got this from a friend of mine. It's actually rather brilliant. So you're typing in it just like you see it. And so you can use any one of these. You aren't using all of these at once. Each one is its own search. Of course, as you start at the top, it's at the top of the funnel. So you're going to get a wide amount of information, right? Now, if you have the name from LinkedIn, you put the person's name in there. So if it's Michael Goldberg, you're going to put Michael Goldberg in brackets, contact and email, and in bracket, open bracket, in quotes, gmail.com, yahoo.com, AOL.com. And you should have, I don't know, when I pulled it, there should be a quotation mark around that other gmail.com. And then it slowly tends to now do a funnel to get very, very specific. So you can see, I'm going to want to look up the site for Beyonce.net. I'm looking for the CIO who lives in New Jersey, and the 609, the 732, and the 201, those are area codes in New Jersey. And be sure to put every area code. So when I did 972-469-214, there's 817, which is Arlington, Grand Prairie, Fort Worth. There's 682, which is Western Fort Worth. And they're adding area codes as counties and cities expand, they have to add more area codes. So you want to capture them all on there, because if they've got any bit of information out on the net, it's going to appear, because you could also land on their own homepage and look at examples of their work and say, how cool is this? And now you have a connection. And now you say, hey, I was looking at your examples of your work on your website, and you can pull, and if someone has a personal page, they usually list that on their LinkedIn profile in the About section. Any questions on this? All right. So again, this is something that I'll send over to you. It's a little fuzzy to read. It's fuzzy to read even when not on, when she sent it to me, but this is what it is. But basically, These are different tools that you can use. There's one tool out there. It's called Hunter, H-U-N-T-R. That's a Chrome extension. And you want to definitely be using that to, it's a free search. You just type in the URL of the company. And for the most part, as long as you'll see a little side button to the right of the name. If it's green, that means it's worked in the past. If it's red, that means it's unverifiable. And it doesn't have every single company, but that's where some of these other tools come into place. The Boolean methods, which we talked about, are here, which were on the previous slide, and the different Chrome extensions that you can do. But these Chrome extensions, like HireTool, is more for recruiters, not for, but what's cool about HireTool is it will give you their LinkedIn profile results, but you get 10 free per week. So it's not bad. It's not bad, but there's a paid version that's very expensive. Tools to verify phone numbers. It's all right here. So these are some great tools that you'll walk away with. And I'll put these as a separate side in the Google Drive so it stands out. So 5 recommendations as we wrap up here. From your research, write down your target job titles, your target companies, your target locations, and their websites. Start by creating simple search strings. Don't go complex with Boolean operators to begin with, especially when you're looking for particular jobs. Really start with 5 keywords is what I always say. And then add keywords as if you were writing the job posting yourself. So again, you're going to use the existing job posting out there, highlight the keywords, and start putting them into your search for, for different positions, because there could be other positions that have similar requirements. Ensure the Boolean operators are being used correctly before hitting the enter key, because that makes or breaks. So if the spacing is off, it's not going to find people or you won't get the right results. So go back and make sure you have the spacing down correct, and then hit enter again to see if you get the results. So the prime example is when I didn't add Toyota in there, you saw it brought up everybody but somebody from Toyota. But whoever mentioned, hey, enter Toyota, which I should have normally and naturally done, then you're able to get the result you want. And don't give up, especially when you're trying to find specific people. Keep playing with the search strings. And you can Google information about Boolean search strings, and they're all over the place. So, but I think what I've given you here is some great information to finding recruiters, finding hiring managers on the on Google. And again, you can use similar Boolean operators in LinkedIn as well. So I will stop there and fire away.
Great job, Michael. I learned a lot. I appreciate it.
Sure. Alma, you asked if there were going to be any questions and answers. You're on, girl. Do you have questions? Or is she frozen?
She looks frozen.
She does look frozen. Chris, any questions?
Oops.
Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I just had a question about the pipe. It's pretty simplistic, but like, is it just shift and then the question mark key? Because I'm seeing like a backward slash.
The backward slash is in the pipe button that's right above your enter key. So here, hold on, I'll show you. I don't know, let me just make sure that it's that button right there.
Yeah.
You see it's below backspace above the enter key. Does that make sense? Do you see that on your keyboard?
Yeah, with the semicolon?
No, you're looking down. I want you to locate the enter key.
Right.
And then right above it should be the pipe and the backward slash.
I don't see that on mine.
What kind of computer do you have, Chris?
Well, I'll let somebody answer that question. Yeah, right.
I just have a Dell.
Yeah, but you should have that.
Should be right above your enter key. Yeah. Under the backspace.
And it may look like two little vertical dashes too.
Yeah, it could.
Not a colon, but two dashes.
All right.
Just start typing on your computer
Yeah,
when you
you'll
have
figure it.
time to find that particular character.
Violetta Morada, do you have any questions? Who is Violetta Morada, David?
Hey, it's my mom's iPad.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's right. You're in Florida. You're in Florida. All right.
Yes, I'm having to use my mom's iPad. I'm going low tech on this one.
So anything else that I maybe missed? You know, David's is a very good recruiter and sourcer himself. So I just want to double check myself here.
No, that last the last Boolean string that you gave out actually was really good. That one I'd say encompasses probably 90 to 95% of being able to find email addresses. So it's a really good one because it encompasses everything in one string.
Yep, definitely. Who else has questions as the dogs bark?
I have a question. When you're looking for recruitment, wouldn't you just put recruit and then the asterisk as a wild card?
You can.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you could, you could seriously do, so let me share my screen again, sorry. Now I can't find, I hate Zoom sometimes.
I'm concerned about your dog.
She's crazy as they come, so.
Someone's stabbing her? She's like.
Oh, she's fine. God almighty, girl.
Somebody's trying to eat the house. Oh, that's funny. You put it on mute. What are you changing? Can't see that.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So just by doing the wildcard, I mean, I can do that. But here you go, senior healthcare IT recruiter, healthcare talent consultant, senior director of recruiting at the Delta companies. So good call, Jen. Thank you. So yes, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet. What else?
Michael, I have like a quick question.
Yes.
Why is this Boolean? I mean, I found this Boolean thing like very overwhelming. Like this is the first time when I came across all this. But then what's the difference between doing this and then just typing down the things which we want just as keywords, like without the and or an asterisk?
You mean if I was to do something like this?
Yeah, like just the normal layman version of contacting people. Yeah, something like that.
Well, look what you get. Healthcare recruiter jobs. Let's see if I take out jobs. So even though I did minus jobs, it's still giving me jobs. So what's super important, Aditi, is the Boolean operators of insight in URL. And like I said, you want to use these things here. Hold on. What you're doing here is you are telling Google to go to a specific site and find specific people with the terminology. So like I said, the benefit of doing this, and yes, it's extra keystrokes that you have to type, but the benefit is that it hones in on your search and it allows you to be targeted in how you go on Google, because I'm sure you've searched things on Google before and it just spits out random results. You're like, no, that's not it. I got to keep doing it. So every time I'm on Google, I'm using Boolean operators just out of habit because it's how I find people, right? And so if I do it generic like I did before here, Now, now if I were to do something like this, well, let's stick with LinkedIn. See if it helps a little bit. It does, because I've told it where to go look. So again, think about it this way. Instead of casting this huge net to collect all the information at once, you're honing in on specific keywords to get you the results that you actually want, not ones that are going to waste your time.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
Michael.
I would say I was going to add. I think that's a good way to explain it. Is instead of Google trying to figure out what it is that you're looking for by just typing in the keywords, you're telling Google, I want you to go out specifically to look for these things in this manner, right? So Google doesn't have to guess at it. You're telling it specifically, this is how I want you to do it. That's the difference between the Boolean and the keyword searches.
That's nice. Thank you.
Right on.
Hey, Michael, someone was asking, like, why would you use the parentheses, like the open-ended parentheses in a search?
So and David, correct me if I'm wrong, the quotations, like I said, is a specific word that you're looking for. If you have one word in parentheses, telling it to go look for that one word in the profile. The phrase, you could do either the quotation marks or the parentheses. But the parentheses, when I use parentheses, it's like when I was doing VP or vice president or SVP or senior vice president. So I'm categorizing different titles.
Correct.
And so I don't want it, if I did that in quotations, I might skew the results, and it might go find one or the other versus this is what I want you to go find in parentheses.
Yep, that's a good way. I mean, it's a grouping of it, right? It allows you to provide a grouping of keywords in an easy manner. I think of it like math, right? Where you've got the powers and parentheses and multiplication, addition, and whatnot. So you're telling it in which order and how many keywords you want it to look for in a specific manner. I mean, Google is smart, but not that smart sometimes. Sometimes
this is why you still need recruiters. This is why you still need humans. Still need humans.
Still need humans. That's right.
It can't anticipate. Well, one day it might if artificial intelligence ever becomes real, but that's for another time. What other questions do you have? Thanks, David. What other questions? No other questions? All right. So if you could give me some feedback, thoughts about this presentation. Is it missing anything? Is there anything I could do better? Just looking for open and honest feedback.
I thought it went fast. I mean, it is a lot of information. I do like the fact that it was interactive and you were able to do the searches. But I feel like the handout is definitely going to be important, so that people can have that information.
So would you present a handout with this either post presentation, or would you hand it out like as hey, start looking at this before the presentation goes on?
I would do it post presentation. So then that way, because if you do it before, then people are going to concentrate on the handout and like try to look ahead. Whereas if you did it afterwards, people have that as a resource that they can take home and use to do their own Boolean searches.
Yeah, I would make it more of like almost like a worksheet with it though, because I was having trouble in the order of which things should be typed in. So starting out more simple for people that have never done this before and slowing down a little bit would be really helpful.
So again, would that worksheet be sent in prep for?
I think in prep.
What I would say is that like during the exercise, you get the chat. So you can prepare the search, like, you get copy paste and you can make it from simple to complex. So people just modify the same search and they're just getting the result. So you don't have to send us handouts, but like you can make it more dynamic by, let's say, whatever is the URL that you want or the Boolean search that you have on the presentation, you have copy paste from the simple to the more complex and let people say, hey, add these parameters now, vary, or just look for something yourself later on. I think that will help.
Thank you.
I mean, I agree with Jose, sorry. But I also kind of agree with, I agree with Brandy too. So that way, I think it needs to be post for, since you gave us homework, so that way we could actually practice doing it, because you did say that it's going to take a minute. You know, you're used to using Boolean, so that we can get familiar with practicing using it, and just maybe provide in the post like a few different examples along with the cheat sheet, like this is the answer. So just in case, say you give me an example or you give me homework to do and I still can't figure it out, or maybe I missed a space, you also provide, hey, this is how it should look, but let us try it. Does that make sense?
No, that's perfect. So really it's, what I'm hearing is create a cheat sheet, present that cheat sheet post presentation. You know, when going through the exercise that we did you feel that and I guess if we had more time, give you more time to figure it out and then go back and slow it down and answer the questions? Is that best, you think? So I'm trying to understand the worksheet, how that comes in. Is the worksheet the same as the cheat sheet?
No,
or,
well, it would
or
be,
do you put homework?
Yeah, it would be the same. It would be the same. The worksheet and the cheat sheet are the same. It's just I would do it post, because I mean, we only have an hour, so of course it's gonna move a little fast anyway. But it gives me the opportunity at the end, at my own time, to kind of go back in what you showed, you know, when you showed all those things, that I can try it on my own. But in case I miss something, like with the Toyota word, like, oh shoot, I forgot that. So I know that I can look at your answer guide also. Like if you give some like, hey, try these 4 or 5 examples, but this is also the key, you know, the key code to make sure that I'm doing it right, that I get it right. Because like
Excellent.
you said, it's gonna take some time and some practice, you know, especially for us newbies, you know, it's like the back of your hand. This is going to take a few times, a lot of times.
Yeah, and I knew I was throwing a lot at you, but I wanted you to get the sense of things. And so what I can do is I'll create the cheat sheet. I'll work on that over the weekend. I'll upload this, and then maybe give you some extra homework assignments that you can practice on.
Yeah, just knowing the order of operation of like what needs to go first, second, third into that, you know, what we're typing into Google, I think would be most useful, because I know it can be, you know, a certain order of where we would get the best result.
Absolutely. All right.
But no, definitely very helpful.
Thank you, Kenya. I appreciate it. Any other questions before we end the show here?
Oh, amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will you email us the cheat sheet, or?
I'm gonna put it in the Google Drive. Do you have access? You should. Everyone, if you don't have access to it, it's been kind of flaky, but I can also email it to everybody that attended the call. I can just do a mass email and send it that way as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because I don't know how to access the Google Drive.
In Google? That's a smart ass question. Answer.
I don't remember how we got to the Google Drive, because I only looked at it once. So
super quick. Hold on.
Can you put it in the chat?
Yeah, that would help. I know how to get to the Google Drive. I just don't know how to get to his.
Hold on.
Got it.
It's not what I wanted to do. What do I do?
Did you find it?
I just want the link. No, I want the link. Copy link. Link copied. Now to chat.
I hate it when that happens, when you know that you hit the copy button and it just doesn't register.
Now, some of you may not have access to it if this was your first time, but this will take you to it. So essentially, I think I've got most of the shows where I was able to upload. There are some shows that aren't here where I forgot to hit the record button, like last week, that'll be on YouTube Live if you want to capture the replay of Trisha last week. But the presentation will be in here as well as the Zoom recording. So if you just copy and paste that link and then bookmark it in a place where you remember where you bookmarked it, unfortunately, I don't do that sometimes, you'll be better off. So does that help?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around late. I hope you guys are safe and well, and raise your voices, make things happen, make change happen. And we'll talk to you next Thursday, where I believe it's Mr. Dan Urban, who will be presenting to us on organization. Isn't that correct, Anna?
Yes, and he is an absolute wizard.
He's a wizard at it.
His methodologies and his organizational skills. So I think it'll be amazing for the group. So.
Absolutely. So until next time.
Awesome.
Bye. Enjoy the weekend.
I'll catch up with you later, Michael. Bye.
Bye. Have fun. Congrats, Laura. Lori, thank you.